Thank you. I would like to welcome Colorado Springs 4th Judicial District Attorney Dan May to say a few words. What an honor to have him with us this morning. Thank you, Dan, for...
You are all to be lauded. Can you hear me okay? I have to admit that standing next to the podium just isn't my style. You are all to be lauded here. You are all now becoming part of something greater than yourselves. And there aren't many people who get to say that in a lot of things they do in their lives. You have chosen today by being here, or many of you have been working in this area for many years, to be something greater than yourselves. There are things that are going on locally. There are things that are going on statewide, nationwide, and worldwide. And by participating here, and whether you're participating as an organization or individuals, you are making changes in this world. And again, you should be lauded for that. I got to tell you, I'm a member of Rotary, and I get that same feeling there. There are projects, like a couple weeks ago, I was down at Benitucci Farm helping out. But I know that Rotary is also involved in national programs for poverty and is actually stamping out polio. So by joining Rotary, I know that there is no polio in China today because of that. It's one of the things they're doing. A group like this has that same impact worldwide. Do we have human trafficking here? Yes, we do. Is there a need for Called Arms here? Yes, there is. And I'd like to discuss some of the things that we are doing here and how you might be able to get involved, either personally, and quite frankly, there are groups out there that could use donations if you could do it financially. There are groups that could use your support to help you bring legislative change, city change, change to individual lives. And so there's many ways that you yourselves can be involved if you're looking for something like that. Quite frankly, as I look back a couple of years ago, we had archaic laws. Laws that were built on pimping and prostitution on streetwalkers in the streets of Colorado Springs. They were not effective in stopping human trafficking. They weren't effective in bringing the severe penalties to make people not do that crime. 2 years ago, our legislation here in Colorado had the fortitude to bring tougher human trafficking laws that we're now using to try to stamp out human trafficking. We can now hold the human trafficker much more accountable than we could before. Before, we would raid a place, charge them. They would literally be back in business the next day, and in one case, within 4 hours, because they had no fear of the penalties involved. At the same time, when we would rescue or arrest the women involved in the prostitution, they would be shipped to another part of the country, probably return in 3 to 6 months with new identification and new names because they were part of a nationwide system. We weren't having that nationwide support or that worldwide support. That's changing. You saw 2 weeks ago nationwide raids on human trafficking. And did you notice 8 people were arrested in Colorado Springs? More were arrested in Denver and all across the country. The country and the world is recognizing the size of this problem, but it's also just a local problem at the same time. I assume when the police department comes on, are they going to, who's speaking for the police today? Have you seen their demonstration where they get on back pages? How many of you have seen that demonstration? It's pretty impressive. They start out the meeting like this, and they get on and put an ad as if they're someone looking for sex as you're at this, in this forum, and it's a live ad. And you get to see how many people start contacting them within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes. Is it happening in this community? Yes, it is. I have at least 2 to 3 dozen massage parlors that are clearly human trafficking that I have described, where when we raid them, they just ship them to other parts of the country and ship those same ladies back here later under a different name. What do I need to stamp that out? I can bring criminal cases all day long. It does need other ways of looking at it. I need licensing of those places. Currently, our law is such that you could locally have a massage parlor license, and you could go in and take away their license if they were doing violations. But there was a state law that said if they were a massage therapist, that you could not license them, and it was a state concern. So we would license it, we'd go in to take it away, and they would declare one of the women a massage therapist, and all of a sudden we had to back away. trying to fix that gap. We tried to bring a law last year and just couldn't get the traction at the end. We're looking at it this year, and actually Terry Carver may need your support. She's trying to carry that bill to look at those gaps. Currently, my Attorney General, Cynthia Coughlин's office, is opposed to that, saying we've got enough to do it from the state level. Well, quite frankly, we haven't seen much of that yet. But we've invited them down. We said, okay, join our task force. We'd like to see you put your money where your mouth is. I'm willing to call people out. This is such an important issue. I don't care if it's party lines or not. I'm a Republican also. I'm going to call you out if you're not helping us on this issue. Terry's helping us on this issue. I'm worried Cynthia Coughlин's office is not. But we're going to put them to the test, and we're going to find out in the next couple of months. I have a feeling they may have something that's right, but something that's not quite. And Terry may be able to fill in the gaps for us to look at that licensing. Because I can do more through zoning and licensing sometimes than what I can do by just criminal charges and bringing charge after charge after charge. A number of years ago, it was recognized a lot of crimes are based on money. And so the idea came up, why don't we take away the money? Or the other side of the coin is, we raid the place, but we can't take your money. So you've made thousands or millions of dollars on human trafficking, go ahead and keep the money and we'll charge you. Well, they're willing to stay in business because they're making money. And that's when we put together what was called forfeiture laws. Forfeiture laws, quite frankly, go after people making money from illegal drugs. Forfeiture laws go after people making money off of people's bodies or human trafficking to take away the profit motive. Colorado, quite frankly, stripped their forfeiture laws about 10 years ago. So we have to rely on the feds to take away that money. Last year we had a bill to take away the forfeiture laws that Colorado could not, essentially in many ways, accept the money from the federal government. Trying to tell the federal government, don't do forfeitures in Colorado. Police were worried, what, I'm going to raid a place that's built on making money on men and women, and I have to say, here's your money back? We went to the legislature, the state senate. We realized the votes up there is only 5 people or 7 people on state senate this year. 5 people. Those are 5 key votes. We knew it was 3-2 against us. We needed to flip 1 vote. Guess who sits on state judiciary? Mike Merrifield. Guess who's on the wrong side of this issue? Mike Merrifield. I know that Bill Elder and Pete Carey, chief of police and sheriff, met with him personally, bringing home to him the issues that we're addressing here. Because we have quite literally taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from people involved in human trafficking who couldn't get to switch his vote. We have one of the members up there switch your vote when Jennifer Beeman in my office testified about the human trafficking concerns. And she said, if this is about human trafficking, I'm switching my vote. And we won 3-2. That bill's coming back this year. Guess who's no longer on that state judiciary? The woman who flipped her vote. Guess who is still going to be there this year? Mike Merrifield. If you know Mike Merrifield, I'm asking you, sit down with him, talk with him. Ask him to meet with Bill Elder again. Ask him to meet with Pete Carey again. That's a significant issue in the war on human trafficking that we can take their money. And even if they are upset about the war on drugs being used for that, they can at least make an exemption for the war on human trafficking. Because this is an important issue for us. You can't do this with just one size fits all. It's a complex issue. I've been excited in my office because we now can bring harder charges. It used to be that all of our prostitution was charged in the city court. We're not coordinating that over to my office so that we are doing those, so that we can recognize that some of this is actually taking people out of the system, making survivors out of them instead of defendants out of them. And so we're trying to coordinate those efforts so that we're doing the right things for the right people. I had Shannon Gerhardt in my office, Jennifer Beeman, who I just mentioned, Chelsea Schinauer, Stephanie Redfield come to my office and say, we would like to start a new diversion program to turn individual lives around. We have a task force that was put together for that. UCCS is part of it. Stephanie Finley has been great at bringing some real resources to us and some professionals. We have Tessa involved. We have Memorial Hospital involved. The Colorado Springs Police Department involved. There are other groups involved. We needed some people that could give therapy. We needed some people to come in and talk about how they were able to escape the this. We actually have doctors and dentists who step forward. We have a 4-part program, and for this year we put through our first 2 classes. I think we were geared up for women. We hadn't thought about men, and in our first class we had 1 man. One of the things we're trying to do is they start by just having people talk about the therapeutic side and what it was to escape in that whole program. We actually had dentists who gave free dental care, and we found some of these people had almost never had any of that dental care, and that's a significant change in their life. We had doctors giving free medical care for some issues that had never been addressed in some of the women's lives, and they really appreciated that. We had people talking about how to do a resume, giving them a suit so that they had something that would make them presentable for job interviews and being able to get in the workforce. They actually didn't have a suit for a man. We had to ask for help from people saying, does anybody have clothes that could be donated so we could give a suit to a man? Because we were more geared up for women than men. And I guess that's sort of a prejudice you sometimes have when you look at these issues. We had 2 of the women who graduated here just actually in the last 10 days who said that when they went to first class, they said, okay, I have to go through 4 of these classes. If I sit through it, I don't have to say anything, I don't have to participate, and I get my dismissal at the end, that's all I care about. At the end, after learning how to do job interviews, getting the clothes, getting the dental care, having people who cared about them, talking about the system, they said it changed their lives. Now we'll see, it's a new program. I have a lot of rehabilitation programs in my office, and quite frankly, they take a few years, and you see how they worked out. We'll see how this one works out. But I've thrown out to you several areas that we're looking for help for. If any of you have ideas on things I just mentioned, where we can get clothing, job opportunities that people can have, education opportunities. Actually, at least during the classes, we've been able to take care of child care, with child care issues coming forward. Join our task force. I have Shannon Gerhardt's card, and we'd love to get your input. Quite frankly, in setting down massage parlors, as I talked about with Terry Carver, I can tell you Dan Norberg's looking at a bill this year. Dan Norberg is one of the things that has come about is that you have literally branding of some of the people in the trafficking trade, where they actually give them barcodes so they know who they are, and other forms of brand. He's bringing a bill this year to put severe penalties on people that brand these. Paul Lundeen has put together a human trafficking, he put together legislation study group that will follow through with recommendations this year, others that may need your support in terms of fighting this particular issue. As I look at my local massage parlors, Colorado Springs is a home rule city. And although the Colorado Springs Police Department is very involved in the issue, my city council and my city attorney's office is not. They are not coming to our task force meetings. They are a home rule city. They actually have greater powers than my county. My county is very much striving. It was Welling Clark who contacted Terry Carver and others saying, we have this gap in legislation. And I've got some county commissioners who are willing to vote for the right ordinances. But until we pass the state law, they're not a home rule county. They can only take it so far. Colorado Springs is a home rule city. And if they have the fortitude, it can actually move forward faster than what the county can. And quite frankly, these parlors are split about 50-50 between the city and the county. Those are some of the things going on. Again, I appreciate everybody that's here. You are making a difference in this community. You are making a difference in this world. There are a lot of good organizations making a difference at the local, state, and worldwide level. There are many ways for you to get involved today. I hope I've suggested a couple. I hope you'd like to come on board and help us out. But there are a lot of ways that will make a difference in individuals and worldwide